Hey there guys, so quick video, just outside, got to keep eyes on the little one at the same time. Competition on the weekend went well, so I got the 800 kilo total that I was going for in terms of qualifying. Wasn't a challenge at all, it's just one of those things where you just have to rock up, you got to do it, you got to play by the rules. So yeah, I had to put a total together to qualify, and I've sent off my expression of interest form for nationals. So yeah, I've got to wait until about mid-month and then we'll find out if I'm successful or not. Based off what everyone said, they said 800 kilos for a total in the 110s should be a safe bet, so that's what I went for. On the competition day, I was also coaching one of my mates. He was actually the lifter before me, so had to do his knee wraps and then I had to get mine done. I opened at 270, that moved really well, really easy. Then went 300 on a second, again, really easy. But considering, I have to do his wraps, then my wraps, it's like, do I go 325 or 330? In my head, it's like, well, I'm feeling strong anyway. I might as well just make up the kilos later on the day, because originally I only had to deadlift 250 to put my total together. It's like, look, there's heaps in the tank. I'm just gonna enjoy deads and muck around really. Bench press in this new fed, the Australian record was 217.5 kilos. So on my second I went for 220, moved really well. Definitely had 230 there, but it's like, I'm going to be greedy. I'm going to go for 235. That will be a new all-time comp PR for me. I missed it, but I was close. So for a 4 or 5 week comp prep, I was really happy with that. Surprised that, when I went to hold the weight, it really didn't feel that heavy under load. Like, there was a legitimate chance of getting it. So yeah, I was happy with that. Deadlifts, I opened on 250 beltless, that moved really well. Then I went 280 for a second, again beltless, and that moved well. So 300, 220, 280, that gives me 800. And then part of me is like, do I go for 300 beltless just to get a PR? It's like, at least with bench, not a lot for me ever goes wrong. If I miss the lift, I miss the lift. I'm never, too sore afterwards. With squats or deads, if I really push them, there's a slight chance of getting hurt, but the next day I always feel worse for wear, just feel more fatigued and tired in general. So, what, I'll just leave it at the 280, and that was it. So I just left it at the 280. So yeah, all the attempts I got. So yeah, 2 squats, 2 deadlifts, 3 benches. Sorry, yeah, didn't get all my attempts. I missed the bench. So yeah, I was just happy with the day. It was easy. This week in terms of training, I've just taken it really light. Let the body have a bit of a deload. Monday, got in the gym. I still did, 2 sets of 10 on bench at like 140 kilos. And it felt, I'm not going to say it felt heavy, but it didn't feel as light as it usually does. And then squats in the evening, I just did 200 kilos for a set of 5 paused. So again, just really light. The rest of the week I've just pretty much taken off. I've just done a little bit of foam rolling, hit some curls, done some walking lunges, a few push-ups. Tomorrow's Friday, so I'll hit the overhead press. Again, I'm not going to go hard. I'm just going to let the body recover. In terms of weights and the rest of it, the day before I made weight, came in at 109.7. The day prior, I was like 113 kilos in the morning, so it's just water weight that I had to drop. The water weight didn't come off as quick as I had hoped, or as easy. So from about, I think it was 10 a.m. on Thursday, I stopped drinking water until 10 a.m. Friday morning. So yeah, dropped the 3 kilos of water weight. This time around, and the other thing that didn't go in my favor in terms of dropping weight was the Friday was a public holiday, so it meant none of the saunas were open early. Originally, I was just planning on going to the sauna at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and sort of being there until about 9 a.m. So yeah, 3 hours, I lose plenty of water weight, and I drive, from wherever it was from 9 a.m. get to the weigh-in at 10 a.m. and it would have been really easy. But yeah, public holiday, that wasn't the case. it's just like the first hour in a sauna, you know, I do lose a fair bit of weight, but it takes a while for the body to really warm up. It's that second and third hour that I really start to sweat out really quite easily. So it's like, oh, you know, I'm leaving it pretty fine in terms of time, so I can't really use the sauna as a good method this time around. And yeah, so, you know, it's just stop drinking water and make weight that way. This time, yeah, gonna get one of those small little saunas, so I've got that at home, and I will use that to cut weight the night before, so I can just sleep in a bit, rock up to weigh-in, and I'll be there. Ideally, I never want to have my body weight more than 5 kilos over the weight class. In, you know, previous comps, anywhere where it's 5 kilos or under has always been really comfortable for cutting weight, and then it doesn't affect my performance. Ideally 3 kilos is a lot better. So at the moment I'm just going to try and diet down to about 107. That means for the next comp prep I've got room to grow, you know, 6 kilos. I need to lose a little bit of body fat regardless, so this is going to be a good opportunity to do that. So I'll just pick a few days where I'm really just going to drop the calories low, and do a few fasts and things like that. You know, I don't have to drop much weight in the scheme of things, so I'd rather be really quite strict and get it done quickly, especially if it's on a day where I don't have much work and, you know, training is light. I can get away with having, you know, a few cups of coffee in the morning, and that blunts my appetite, and then, you know, I'll just try and keep myself distracted. I'd either play Xbox, or if I've got the day off, or, you know, if I'm going for a hike, do something like that. Just something where I'm not thinking about, oh, you know, I'm hungry, I should have something to eat. So yeah, if I've got, you know, the time to do it that way, I'll just distract myself. Otherwise, you know, if I need to eat during the day, I'll just keep it high protein, moderate fat, because yeah, the higher the protein, you know, it blunts my appetite as well. And at the end of the day, if I'm just trying to drop weight, it's going to come into, you know, calories in versus calories out. It's not too complicated. It's nothing spectacular in that sense. It's just, yeah, be smart about the maths. Realistically, 3,500 calories a day is what I sort of, you know, slowly gain weight on. 3,000 is a little below maintenance. So yeah, it really depends. Like if I've been training really hard, maintenance can be around the 3,500 mark, versus if I haven't been training anywhere near as hard, you know, 3,000's it. But I'll just work off the 3,500. It's easier. So I sort of know if I spend a whole day, you know, fasting and just don't eat anything, I've pretty much dropped 500 grams of body fat. So I only have to repeat that a few times, and the kilos really start to add up. Other than that, as I said, just going to take this week's training really easy, get stuck into it more next week. I've got to bring up my general fitness. If I bring up my general fitness, training in this next training block is going to be a lot easier. And then yeah, with nationals, I want to hit PRs across the board on absolutely everything. Best squat to date in competition is 365 kilos. Best bench in competition so far is 232.5 kilos, and best deadlift in comp so far is 305 kilos. So deadlifts I'll definitely hit a new PR on, I know that. And bench, yeah, I'll PR on that as well. Squats, I've got a little way to bring them back up. Nothing crazy, they bounce back pretty quick anyway, considering I hadn't done back squats for a very long time. I hit, 320 in training, and it moved, you know, relatively well. I fell out of position a bit, but I was just able to basically muscle my way out of, you know, poor positioning and get the lift. So yeah, definitely going to, you know, bring the squats up and bring them north. Just got to get some new knee wraps, got to get a proper belt because I don't have one, and yeah, just really be smart with my training in this training block. You know, I'm going to keep doing what I was doing in terms of bench, squat and deads on the same day. You know, the bench volume's limited, the squat volume is very limited, as well as the deadlift volume, but it just means, you know, I got the primary movements done, and the rest of the week I can muck around with accessory movements. It works well for me. Is it ideal? Certainly not, but considering, you know, I've got 3 kids, I've got a busy life, other commitments, I'm still able to progress, I still move forward, and some of the assistant exercises I can have some really good high quality sessions, and occasionally if I wanted I could swap out an assistant exercise for another, you know, one of the big 3 and rack up a bit more volume if I needed to. So just because I say, you know, squat, bench and deadlift on the Monday doesn't mean that's the only time, you know, I'm going to be doing it. I might muck around on Thursday and do some, you know, extra bench, or I might muck around on Thursday and do some extra squats or deadlifts. It really depends on how the body feels, how things are moving, and how far out from comp I am. And on that note, competition is meant to be around late August. So yeah, I've got a fair bit of time. Just as I said, deload this week, think up a really good plan of attack for next week, and just bring up the general fitness. So that's it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment below. Otherwise, have a great day wherever you are.